I think we're live. I think we're live. Got it. Let's see. Make sure it doesn't blow me out because it always does. Hey everybody, hold on, stand by. Just need YouTube to launch and me to hit the mute button on it if I need to. Is it gonna blow me out? Huh? Huh? Come on. Nope. We're good. Hey everybody. How are you? Welcome. It's Friday. I don't even know what date it is. What date is it today? February 23rd. Welcome to the second episode of Lead with Your Chin. And those of you who are Epic Cash fans, wow. Wow. Can you believe that Epic Cash price increased 110% or 120%? I can't remember the math. I mean, like that. It was amazing. It was amazing. I was getting all of these DMs. Let me share it. Let me share. I was getting all of these DMs from people of people saying, "What the hell is happening? What the hell is happening?" And they were sending me this chart, CoinGecko, and it was 12 cents. And most would look at that and they would, like, maybe if you're an Epic Cash holder, you might just shart your pants a little, you know? But Uncle V, Todd, Uncle Vigilante, Toddy, whatever you want to call me, not me. Why? Because I know CoinGecko are a bunch of dummies. What CoinGecko does, and this is a public service announcement, Epic Cash holders, what Epic Cash does, or I mean CoinGecko does, is about once every 6 months, they give the Epic Cash community a heart attack. And what they'll do is immediately, as you can see right here, go from reporting from VEET Epic Cash 002 to Epic Cash 001, which is a dead coin, which trades around here, or doesn't even trade, I don't even think, down here, but at 12 cents. I don't know why VEET even continues to present Epic Cash 001. Maybe my guest Sky King today can educate me on that. Maybe not. I don't know. Not going to put any pressure on you. But I just want to share with everybody, it was at 12 cents. And then guess what I did? Guess what I did? Let me see. I then went to here. Oh, there it is. Yep. CoinGecko. There you go. We're down 51%. So that's 11.9%. So maybe I have my math wrong. Maybe it's not increasing 100%, but I'm saying it went from 11 point or 0.1199, so 11.9 cents to back to 24 cents. So that's double. But let me just share with you folks. The next time you have that sensation of sharting your pants, as uncomfortable as it is, what you should do is open up your VEET wallet, okay, and go to markets. And when you go to markets, then you find the Epic Cash BTC trading pair. And then you click on the upper right number, and then what will populate is the actual price that if you were to buy all of that now, it would cost you 24.5 cents. Okay, so nobody lost half their net worth in Epic Cash. It is just a CoinGecko thing. Okay, so I'm going to keep my title of the show as clickbait, right? Because those might be interested. But for context, it literally, the price increased from 12 cents to 24 plus cents right before my eyes when I went from CoinGecko to VEET and actually looked at the right price. Okay, there you go, everybody. Sky King, welcome to the show, my returning guest. How are you, Sky? Happy Friday.
Doing well, but we've got a quick meeting like this. People are starting to talk.
Yeah, they are. They are. Hey, everybody in the show, in the chat. Just a man. He is first. Danny K. Howdy, howdy. Says howdy, Todd. Good to see you guys. Everybody, please smash that like button and hit the notification bell if you don't have it. Those of you know that I am now doing this Lead with Your Chin series. I was going to have another one this last Sunday, but my guest blew me off because he was butthurt that I had a different guest on my inaugural show. So that butthurt person, he knows, don't behave like you're in junior high. Okay? Please. Ridiculous. I was teeing you up. I even gave you a shout out in the first show, to kind of tee it up because I was looking forward to Sunday to have you come on and talk about this market making thing. I really was. And then you pick up your ball and go home and you cancel the conversations because you were butthurt that I had a different guest on my inaugural show. I was going to do that first show just solo by myself. So anyway, homie, don't play that game. I am not in junior high anymore. And anybody who wants to engage with me and behave like you're in junior high, you're just not going to be long for my operating reality. With that said, there is somebody who is the furthest from junior high, Sky King, who with the intention of this new series, Lead with Your Chin, what does that mean? Well, I'm going to invite you to go watch the first episode and we'll unpack it. But basically, lead with your chin versus your handout, meaning, if there's an initiative, instead of sitting back and saying somebody else will do it, or instead of sitting back and saying, or not sitting back, but engaging with people and holding out your hand saying, I'll do this if you give me that. How about just strap one on and do it? Just to speak that logo, Nike logo into existence, just do it, please. And so with that, I put an invitation out to the universe saying that if you, and it doesn't have to just relate to Epic Cash, if it's private crypto or anything else out there that is going to, be on the good side of the ledger for humanity, as far as initiatives go, DM me in Telegram at Todd Pitner, TODDPITNER. DM me, and I'd love to have you on the show. Would love to talk to you about it. Now, whom we have, and basically let me make you, Sky King, if you want to do any share screen to show the actual site, you'll at least be co-host and you'll be able to do that. I wanted Sky to come on because, I'm not even going to explain it. I'm going to let you explain it, Sky, the initiative you're working on, and give us the why it has been necessary to launch a new website. Sky,
sure. Yeah, well, thanks again, as usual. Today I guess we'll do a little bit of techie talk.
Please,
but in a way that isn't really technical. It's going to be more of some history and a look at what the elves, or maybe gremlins, depending on how you want to look at it, what they're doing down in the engine room, moving engines and generators and pumps around to help make the ship go better.
Okay.
So we'll start with some history. Projects who are fortunate enough, or maybe unfortunate enough, when they start to have a couple of $1 million in venture capital, are able to go out and hire, a team of a half dozen full-time developers and rent a whole rack of servers in a data center.
Right.
And off they go. They all have a grand old time. And they have resource to work with right from the get-go.
Right.
Well, if you know the history of Epic, we started with some pretty humble beginnings. And at the beginning, it was a small group of community members. And in that community, you couldn't just ask someone who might have had experience building a website to jump in and take on that task.
Right.
Our original developers was sort of a third party group of people under Todd. So that happened for the core code development.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But when that original group of people got together and said, well, we could really use a website, but we don't have anybody in-house. So when when those situations occur, you're kind of forced to go outside of your little group and contract with a third party. I mean, that's just the reality.
Okay. Yep.
And so we did that. Or they did that. I wasn't around at the time, but
Right.
the original group contracted with a third party to develop the website content and to fire up a web server to run that content on.
Mhm.
And things stayed that way for a couple of years. And then they decided, well, we need more than just, a few web pages. Since we're a crypto and we have a blockchain, we're going to need an explorer.
Now,
So
what is an explorer, just for those of us who, may not be totally tech savvy in crypto?
it's a nice graphical way of looking inside how the blockchain is progressing,
Okay.
and it gives you an idea of the number of blocks and how they're being formed and the current block size and the count and the height.
I'm sorry to ask you this. I should have prepped for it better, but can you pull it up and share your screen, or
I
or
don't
tell
have it right now.
tell me where to go for it?
Well, it's currently on explorer.epic.tech.
Explore. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is, everybody. Okay. It's thinking. So
Yeah.
let me bring this down here and I will show everybody. Let me share my screen. There it popped up. Okay, so this is it. Yeah, this is the Explorer.
Right.
So it shows epics at 21.5 cents. Block height 2,375,79. I'm not going to read all of this. Don't worry, everybody. But it looks really cool. I
Yeah.
understand next to
Yeah.
nothing on it, but
So in order to create that, because it's a very informative, important piece of information to have publicly available, uh, the community again had to go out and contract with a third party to develop this web content and to run it on a separate web server somewhere. So now we've got web content for the web page on one server being managed and run by a third party, and we've got Explorer on a separate web server being managed and run by yet a different third party.
let me stop there. Just want to put on my day job business hat. Uh, we always say in the company that I'm associated with, hire the brains, farm out the arms and legs, right? So for third parties, things that require the arms and legs and just the to do, the things that a lot of different people can do, right? You want to be able to farm those out. But there is inherent risk in farming anything out to a third party, is there not? Can we just kind of unpack what those risks might be? Not saying that they're part of this, but I just want to bring focus to many times it's a choice to farm something out to a third party, but there are times, like I think at the beginning of the Epic journey, to where it wasn't necessarily a choice. It was like, look, we look around, this is a community project. Is there anybody that has this skill set or expertise that's willing to lead with their chin? And we look around the room and there's nobody there. And so the decision is made to be able to farm it out, if you will, to a third party. Do I have that right, Sky King?
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly the way things had progressed.
And the risks
And
of
and
farming out to a third party are what?
well, the main risks are exactly what led up to the recent events that we've been going through, and that is when you farm out the development of something, depending on how you set up the contract,
Yeah,
It's entirely possible for the developer of your content to maintain control of that content. And
right.
also, if they're maintaining control of the server that's on, all they have to do is flip a switch, and your
You're
public,
dead.
you're gone. That's it. You're
Right.
dead.
So there's a great vulnerability there. And
Absolutely.
that doesn't fall on deaf ears here. I mean,
Right.
I totally been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, participated in different companies to where that has happened, whether it is a third-party call center that we use that decided they were not pick up their ball and go home, but went out of
Right.
business overnight. And when you have,
Mm-hmm.
all that technology to be able to integrate anything, it's not like you can just flip a switch, especially in crypto, right?
Right.
A
Yeah.
private crypto coin at that. I mean, there are nuances there that take a tremendous amount of time, attention, and effort to be able to present public facing, Explorer to the world. And so that, yes, that is the risk, and that's what we've been dealing with. And so when that happened, I presume that what you did and the C-suite within Epic Cash, the CEO, president, everybody got together for a board meeting and decided that, hey, we're going to use all of the funds from our operating, capital to be able to go ahead and bring it all in-house, right? Who's going to do that? I am jesting, everybody. That's the whole thing about launching a private crypto that is not declared a security, is that there is no company. There is no CEO or president or team. It's a community. So when things like this happen, it's like you have two choices. You have, the grind choice. What is the grind choice? It is when a group of capable people like Sky King here, who are grinders, who just get shit done, who lead with their chin, they assess and decide, okay, if we're going to transition, we're going to have to do X, Y, and Z, and we need a plan for that. So here's a plan, but there's no funding for it. You can't just go back to the board to ask for more money. And, we certainly haven't been set up to be able to go back to the community. Those days kind of went by the wayside back in mid-May in the great spiral that you know about. Um, and so where do you go, Sky? How do you accomplish, doing the right thing from the bottom of your heart? And that's what I want people to know. Everybody that is involved in what is happening right now, they're grinding, they're doing it for the good of the community. Nobody's paying them. Do I have that right, Sky?
Currently, yeah, that's the way things are running right now, and have recently. Um, Back a few months ago, the third party that was running our website content and a web server, that all got transferred to a different third party. Now, we never noticed that behind the scenes,
Oh,
because
wow.
it was
So,
just shuffling, furniture in the engine room, basically.
okay, and so
So,
and and so there was nobody that had direct access to the engine room to be able to see what was doing. And they didn't consult with us, or the community that they were doing that, right? They just made a decision that they were going to point it to a different direction or a different outsourced company.
yeah, it ended up at a different third party source that has the content, and also is running the web server that
Okay.
you see at epic.tech.
Okay.
So in parallel with that, there's been discussion among community members and some of the techie, more dev-like people in the labs group, having some discussions about, well, we're kind of resurrecting Epic and starting from scratch after,
Yeah.
previous things that have been going on. So maybe
Yep.
it's time we have a fresh new look.
Right.
and a new website.
Okay. Yep. So
And
this is called Operation Control Delete, everybody. I just made that up.
or mash on the big red reset button.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
But it's necessary, right? I mean,
Yep.
and that's what I love. I was talking to my wife this morning because you know, as those may know, I divested my IRAs, my 401ks, all of my savings, and I went all in on Epic Cash. So I'm sitting here and you know, when you take a look at where it was at an all-time high of 685 to where it's trading now at 21 and a half cents or whatever, that's a big shot to the lower extremities, you know. But I was sharing with her, I'm like, Yana, we're at a point right now to where, you know, we are not dependent upon that. I mean, I'm far away from being retired, right? But I told her that where we are right now, by the time we would actually need to tap anything, you're talking at least 5, 6 years, you know, and that is what, Sky, light years in crypto. I mean, this, so Epic Cash, don't judge it based upon where it is right now. I mean, my goodness, I wonder, I'm not the mathematician, but if we had Enrique, he could tell us, you know, what one BTC coming into the order book and buying up the Epic Cash, I think we'd probably, now it would go spike up and come down. But just because people, you know, freak upon it going, it being volatile, I mean, I think Epic Cash would probably hit over $1 if somebody came in and bought a you know, a BTC worth. So I say that we are so thinly traded, it's not going to take much. But if we do that Control Alt Delete thing and we reboot, and we do it differently, perhaps, with a little bit more control, nothing changed with the core Epic Cash blockchain. It still is that amazing asset that it always was, is it not, Sky?
It is. And going back to the web debacle, or I should say the web reset, because what we had was really good for what it was.
Yeah, right.
Uh, but could use a bit of a facelift.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our community members, who was also engaged in commenting and discussing maybe we need a facelift, had picked up on my payment processing methodology for merchants, and
Okay.
he really wanted to push that hard and showcase it and get it out there in the public to get merchants to start adopting Epic, so we could start using Epic as currency. So this community member, AT, got together with a different community member, Masaran Duba, and who wanted to improve and increase his knowledge in WordPress, which is a development platform for doing web pages.
Mm-hmm.
And they just decided, well, you know, it's the way it is right now. They had no place to go to make suggestions to anybody for how to change the existing website. Plus,
Okay.
because it was held by a third party, trying to get something changed was pretty difficult.
Right.
So they just decided, screw it, we'll do it ourselves.
Okay. I like
So
that.
AT
That's leading with the chin.
so AT went out and he bought some server time on a hosting site.
Mm-hmm.
And Masa started working in WordPerfect, or sorry, WordPerfect. Oh boy, there we go. That's going back.
WordPress.
WordPress. And, you know, they started coming up with a fresh new look, for which is now what we have up for the new epiccash.com website. And they've been working on this for 2 or 3 weeks.
Now,
And
now is what, when you go to epiccash.com, is that updated? Is that what they've been working on?
It is.
Okay.
And
So
and last week, AT contacted me and said, "Hey Sky, do you think you could uh, go take a look at the web server that I set up and what we're working on um, and just do a reality check for us?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." So
so this is
over the
it.
week,
Just to let everyone know, this is what you're talking about. This is the byproduct of a group of people leading with their chin. I really like
correct.
this. It's very sharp.
Yeah, a little different than the original.
I have only looked at this on my mobile phone, and shame on me. It looks beautiful on my computer.
Right. So I looked at the website, and more I was looking at the web server that he had rented through a hosting site, and I noticed that there were some issues with accessing that and being able to move some files around back and forth. So my recommendation was that perhaps he look at a web hosting service that I use, which is called Voltar, and because he could end up getting a little better web server for about the same money, and he agreed, and so he set up a new account on Voltar and gave me access, and I starting on Monday, I I ginned up a new web server, and he was fortunately able to go to the old hosting site, and they had a 30-day money back guarantee, and he was still in that window. So he was able to shut that server down and get a refund, which paid for a year's worth of um, uh, server on the Voltar account. So we're covered for a year out of his pocket for the website.
Now, this was whose pocket?
ATs.
AT. Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
AT. This is this
And
is this is beautiful. I'm just going through it. I mean, I hope everybody, please go to epiccash.com, everyone. And you know, I shame on me for not looking at this on my computer before, but this is very well done. And okay, I'm sorry I interrupted, which I tend to do.
and so I got on there Monday after ginning up the new web server, and I transferred all of the web WordPress files from the old hosting site to the new hosting site. And now work continues on the new hosting server at Voltar.
Mm-hmm.
That's being hosted at the data center out of Atlanta. And I picked Atlanta because it's one of the most least susceptible to any kind of disruption from any kind of weather event. Atlanta doesn't get hurricanes, blizzards, tornadoes, earthquakes. They're pretty benign in their weather events. So
That's
better
smart.
connectivity to do it through there. And then after more discussions with more folks in the labs group, I realized that, maybe it's time that we take some of the other services that we have put on the epic.tech server. Maybe it's time to move them off as well, because we were running two of my PHP programs called Epic QR and EpiPay, which produces the QR code with the Epic, gold logo,
Yep.
and EpiPay, which is the merchant payment processing QR code generator. So what I did was I installed those programs to run on my server. I also pay out of pocket for a server running at the Voltar data center in Atlanta, and that runs the public node.epicnet.us, and it runs an EpicBox server, epicbox.epicnet.us. So I had resource left on that server. So now I moved the EpiPay and the EpicQR programs over to that server. And you get to those now using epipay.epiccache.com instead of epic.tech, as well as epipay at epiccache.com instead of epic.tech. So those have been moved over now, and we don't need to rely on the server at Epic Tech to run those.
Okay, great. And can I ask you a quick question? Because I have to call. You and I had the discussion beforehand that I'm. Those of you who can fog a mirror know that there are those times where you just know you're about to come down with the crud, right? And so all day, I've felt this. So, but I hit the kill switch the other day during a interview with Mike Adams, and they had to edit that part out of it. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't that I burped. So, but usually I can hit my on air and it goes dark, and then so I'm going to hit the on air, and can you hear me cough if I do? I'm going to, on the count of 3, I'm going to hit it. Huh. Could you hear the cough?
No.
Yes. Can burp again.
But give it about a half a second after you hit it, because we caught the very first part of the cough.
Okay.
The first half a second.
So if I go, then you probably caught the first part of that, right?
Just the first.
Okay. Well, good. Thank you. Yeah. I can rest better. Sorry, everyone. By the way, let's do a public service announcement right now. Why don't you tell everybody what you told me while I go over there and blow my nose, because I do not want to do that in front of everybody, about when you're about to come down with something, what your suggestion is.
Oh, right. Well, if you start getting a scratchy throat or a tickle in your nose, that's probably the beginnings of the common cold, which is a norovirus. Or if you're coming down with the flu and you start getting those very first few aches going on in a flu virus, what you want to do is you want to get as much zinc into your system as possible, because zinc will stop a virus from replicating. It won't kill it. That's the job of your immune system, but it will stop it from replicating. So if you get zinc in there, just as soon as you have that first sign of something starting up, the zinc will stop it from spreading, and it will give your immune system a chance to kill what got there initially. So whenever I feel the very beginnings of something coming on, I'll do some zinc. But you see, zinc doesn't like to get into your cells very easily, because the electrical charge is the same, so they tend to repel each other. But you can take an ionophore, which is a substance which will reverse the electrical charge on your cell wall, so that it will pull the zinc in. And the most famous ionophore everybody will know from the old COVID crap was called hydroxychloroquine.
Okay. Yep.
But when doctors weren't allowed to use that, they did some quick research and found out that something called quercetin, Quercitin, worked almost as well as the hydroxy, and you didn't need a prescription for it. It's over the counter. So
you can get it at any pharmacy or grocery store, quercetin?
Yeah, I ordered online and just keep some around. But the first time you feel that itchiness and scratchiness starting up, you take 800 milligrams, 1,000 milligrams of quercetin, and as much zinc as you can get. Sometimes it comes in tiny pills of 30 milligrams, or you can get it up to 100 milligrams.
I have zinc, and so while I was away, I went into my medicine cabinet and I just put
Right.
2 vials in there. So
Right.
I'm going to take you up on this.
Yeah. Now you need the quercetin for your
Yeah.
cells to absorb the zinc.
Okay.
That
I would.
helps get it in there real quick.
All right. I
So
will go.
every time I feel something coming on and I get the zinc in there, I wake up the next day, it's gone.
Perfect. I'm going to go
It
to
it
the,
never gets it never has a chance to grab a hold and spread.
oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yep, cool stuff.
Because, yeah.
Yep.
So great.
Yeah.
PSA. Everybody
Yeah.
learned a couple new things today. One, the
How about that?
awesome news that Epic Cash doubled in price, like
Yeah.
that, and
Yeah.
how to not get sick. So,
Yeah.
um, looks like we have 21 people watching. That's great, everybody, on this Friday. I think that's great. Thank you very much for showing up. Let other people know that we exist, and let me know in the chat if you like the new series, Lead with Your Chin. And if anybody has any suggestions of people whom you think would be great guests to come on, let me know. Or maybe that's you. Maybe that's you. So this is really not my show, it's your show. And I'm just going to serve you by being the host. That's my want anyway. So okay. Where were we, Sky, before my need to go blow my nose took us off track?
Uh, we were spending this week migrating everything off of Epic .tech and getting it onto our own servers that we have control of and that we control the content.
Okay,
So another one of the services that we had running was PairDrop on Epic.tech, and that's now at epiccash.com. And I
okay,
have that running on the server that's running the website.
got it.
You can have multiple services running on the same server.
Okay.
They just
Can
have
can I ask the logical question at this point in time, since we're talking about farming things out to third party? Even
yeah,
when you bring something internal, you need some redundancy, right? And don't take this wrong. I would say it if
right,
I was the one leading the charge. But if
right.
you got hit by a bus, Sky, is there not risk because it's operating on your server and such? How do we, when you talk about we and that we're now operating it on our, that's still
Right.
centralized, right? There's still a group of people that are controlling this. So as a community, how do we put in, bumper rails there to make sure that indeed the we is us? If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Well, when I say my server, I set it up and I'm paying for it, but it's running all Epic community services. So
Right,
and
right. So as a community, I guess my question is there anything we can put into place, including payment? Because I don't think it should be coming out of your pocket. I think that's great, and you've been very generous and gracious. But let's figure it out how we can actually create. And this is what I miss about the old days when we come up with good ideas like this, which I believe this is a good idea. We'd go to the community, and the community would vote with their pocketbooks and Epic and whatnot, and we would launch different initiatives. It was awesome, and I
mm,
think we can get back there. But but that's what I miss, man, is being able to lean on that and know that that's in our back pocket, because I would love to, host a show to be able to raise some money for this entire initiative, because this is so important. I mean, this is our backbone. No one person should be funding everything. I'm just grateful that you're leading with your sweat equity, So I think other people in the chat would agree with me on that. So I'm just raising my hand saying I'm willing to lead that charge if we can set up the framework to where it works.
yeah. Well, as far as redundancy, we're working out things in the labs group, which is
Okay.
again sort of the techie oriented people, so that we end up with two or three uh, people that have advanced Linux expertise who
Mm-hmm.
will have root admin access to all three of our servers. There's a third server I haven't mentioned yet. So,
Okay. By the
um,
way, in the chat, Harmon, he's always here. Thank you, Harmon. I know you're there. Love you. He just stepped up and said that he would donate $100 to this cause. I will match that, everybody. So Enrique, if you are listening to this, I don't know, maybe there's a way we can kind of get the band back together a little bit to be able to have a central point to where people could make donations in some sort of way to be able to assist in this.
right.
So thank you,
Well,
Harmon.
just as an aside, to let folks know, the three servers that we have set up right now um, are going to cost about $700 a year,
Okay.
and that's a far cry from the $1,000 a month
Whoa.
that it was costing for a third party to manage our stuff.
Whoa. So $700 a year, that's 3 servers all in.
Yep, it's one server at $18, two servers at $18 a month, and one server at $24 a month.
Amazing.
I went lean and mean on the servers to make sure that they had enough power to get the job done without paying for a lot of extra stuff that we don't need yet. Now it's possible that as we grow and the traffic increases on these servers, we might have to bump up to a more expensive server for a few more dollars every month. But
yeah,
at Voltar, it takes like less than an hour to back up an entire server, buy a more powerful server, and then restore that backup onto the new server, and you're still running.
See, this is, man, I'm just starting to feel good again about this community and where we're heading, just because it feels in many ways like the old days when we had legitimate vision and traction and there was no derailing anything. That it just feels so good. So this is something that let's face it, we need all of this to, I mean, when people sit back and say wind moon or why is the price where it is, it's like it's where it is because there's no action in it. I mean, it's when you don't have anything new to talk about or nothing. I mean, what do you expect, right? I mean, frankly, since mid-May, I went on my little sabbatical and I came out of it. I came out of my funk because I'm like, I'm heavily invested in this. And shame on me. Instead of just like not engaging, let me get back, let me dust off the saddle and get going again. And I'm glad I did and am, because something like this, I mean, my gosh, so you took an expense over 12 grand a year and now it's 700, and it went from being outsourced to being amongst the team, the internal team here. And that's going to pave the way for us to do all kinds of good things so that we are not vulnerable to that third party outsource thing to where they can hold you hostage. And I believe, maybe some have held us hostage in different ways. I don't know. I'm not just talking about this initiative, but I'm talking about
Right.
others that I know about.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where they're like, they know you're dependent and you're screwed and you don't have an alternative. So if you have no BATNA, which is best alternative to a negotiated agreement, then you are indeed screwed and you better bend the knee or figure something else out. And Sky and team have been working on figuring something out. So I'm putting into the universe, Enrique, please reach out to me. Let's figure out how we can get back to the old days to where we could have a fundraise, a community raise, and know that it's going to be invested where it should be, not used for a different project. And I think you all know what I mean. So, okay, great. That's great. That's amazing. So yeah, we'll be able to take care of that $700
Yep.
in one frickin' live stream. I guarantee it.
We're not worried about it because the eyes are on the prize, and we figure somewhere down the road we will all be in a very happy place as far as finances go for the community and the group. So
Yep.
it'll come around. At and I are not worried about it. We're just
Yep.
trying to get things rolling and let it take its course.
So we're at this point, that chicken egg thing, right? Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? You need to be able to raise in a community project, you need to be able to raise funds to be able to put the infrastructure in place to advance Epic Cash in a way that it is going to translate to price action. And when it does, interestingly enough, people get off the sidelines and they want to contribute more. So which comes first, the chicken or the egg? The tech, to where then all of a sudden that impacts positively the price increase, to where then people get off the sidelines and they're like, oh, I want to get back involved in Epic Cash again. Yeah, I'll invest some money here, or I'll donate some Epic there. So that's where we're at, everybody, and that's what this show is all about, is just talking about this. I don't have the answer. I don't know which comes first, the chicken or the egg, but it is our operating reality right now. But I'm super excited, and I know this community like the back of my hand, man. And I know it is not want for people who are miserly. Everybody, I think everybody right now is so desperate to be able to lean in, to be able to say, hey, how can I help? How can I assist? Even if it's a donation or whatever. So I'm really bullish on the future of the community. I'm really starting to see it now. And I know that there are some competitive websites that are out there, and I admire those people too. And I invite you to come on, please, please. I know Monkman was working on something, and the invitation is out there and open. I don't know the difference, but I know that was a result of some people sitting there saying, man, don't like where it is, so we're going to lead with our chin and do it. So, more the better as far as I'm concerned, and it's just, instead of taking a look and saying, hey, we embrace mediocrity and just blah, we're going to do something about it. So sorry about that, Scott. I derailed it.
Yeah, you remember earlier we were talking about the Explorer, and you brought up that page.
Yeah.
Well, that's an example of a third party having control of the content.
Yep.
As well as the server that the content is running on. So, there's been discussions that, well, the Explorer is nice. There's another Explorer out there that looks different and might be nicer or not, that relates to Epic, and maybe it's time we do a facelift on that. But we're going to have to build that from scratch, because we don't have access to the web files that makes the old Explorer page work. Again, that's that third party thing.
Okay, so this is managed entirely by a third party.
Correct.
And
yep.
Will they point this to the new
No.
site? Oh, they won't.
We are in the process of building our own Explorer web page from scratch that will be at explorer.epiccash.com.
Okay, so we're going to do, so this is where a group of people are dealing with the operating reality that this, which is already built, which could easily just be pointed to the new website, right? I mean, if the third party were agreeable, what's getting in the way of that? I imagine it's money or something, right?
Yeah, and the fact that third party also controls the domain name of epic.tech.
Okay, yeah.
We control the domain of epiccash.com.
Frankly, that's that's the website that I certainly prefer. Sorry. Okay. Did that cough go through, or was it suppressed? I hope so.
No, we got you. Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody. Yeah, you're right.
So, okay. All right. So this is the thing. that we have to create our own Explorer. And what I just heard is we are, right?
Yep.
So is there
Yep.
opportunity there, or is there expense related there? Because I kind of like the idea of let's come together as a community and create a budget of what's going to be needed to be able to do this right. And let's raise the money to be able to do it. Lots of different people contributing a little bit makes the world go round. And I'll certainly step up. I always have and always will, because I think to do otherwise is kind of short-sighted. I mean, the fact is, man, it's not going to take anything for us to go on a run. It's just going to take a little bit of exposure and people out there. And I'm even talking internal community members who are eager to get off the sidelines and double down, triple down, acquire more. I mean, the people who are already in it want to acquire more, but they have to see the momentum, right? They have to see a future after witnessing what happened mid-May to now, right? Coming down from $1.25 to 25 cents. I mean, it's been horrendous, but it can so easily go the other direction. We all know that, and then some, and then some. So again, nothing has changed with the technology. This is all about community awareness. And we have such a great story to tell. We just need to put the scaffolding in place again to be able to control our own destiny. So I'm excited about this guy.
Yeah, it's nice seeing these different pieces as a work in progress because yeah, it's going to take a little bit of funding with one of our internal devs to get the Explorer web page done. And
Would you do me a
depending
favor,
on,
Sky? I'm going to challenge you and your team, you know, go together amongst yourselves, map out kind of your vision of in a perfect world, what would it look like? How could we get it to a point to where you guys are like, if we got it there, we would be rocking and rolling. If you can do that and then scope it out of what that would look like, please do come back to me. And I want to host a specific show to be able to unpack it, and let's see if we could fund it. Would you do that for me?
yeah, we can do that. I'll have to coordinate with some other people that are involved, obviously, in making this happen. But sure,
Absolutely. We can do
yeah,
this. We
yeah,
can do this.
yeah,
So let's just wipe the slate clean, just everything that happened historically. This is our movie
yeah,
now, moving
yeah.
forward. And I think the community is going to respond in spades.
I'm not going to give any timelines, but or
No,
volunteer timelines, but
nope.
speculating, I'm estimating like 1 to 2 months to get a new Explorer page up.
Okay.
And depending on, and you see, the Explorer page is a bit complicated because it's a combination of, as you saw on that Explorer web page, it's a combination of a lot of graphics, and behind those graphics is a lot of APIs that go out and talk to some different servers to gather that information.
Yeah.
So, there's some work involved in getting all of the mechanics put
Oh,
together to
a
make
ton
that
of
happen.
work. A ton of
Yeah,
work. There's no
yeah.
doubt.
But well, I have to look at how much resource the actual server is going to require, and so we may end up getting another $18 a month server or $24 a month server to run that on, but that's all it's going to take as
Okay.
far as ongoing costs to have that one particular website up.
Okay.
And in parallel with that, we also have the CipherStat group that's working right now on updating the two wallets, the mobile wallets, Epic Pay and Stack Wallet, because there have been a lot of recent updates. We are now getting ready to release version 3.5.1 of the core Epic wallet code.
Okay.
And there's some exciting changes in there in both reliability and in speed. And so the CipherStat team has just started work and is going to be upgrading the mobile wallets with that code so that the mobile wallets are on the same page as the GUI wallet and the command line version of the wallet with the latest code, so that everything is running faster and more reliable. And once the mobile wallet is released with those changes, and we know that we can comfortably rely on 95 or better percent of our transactions completing, not getting hung up, not getting lost, not getting stuck, then I think we're ready for prime time, that we can then move into an effort towards marketing Epic, because the Phoenix
Great.
has risen and we are ready to rock and roll.
That's great. I love that. So what needs to happen for Diego and his team to be able to update all of that? Is that already in the works,
It's
or is
it's
that
in
waiting for?
progress. It's
Okay.
in progress, and we're looking at a 2 to 3 week time frame, and then a couple of weeks of testing.
Okay. Well, obviously at the point in time that it's ready to be shown off, would love to have all of you on and be able to take us through it. That's super exciting. I mean,
Yeah.
how how many years and months of my coverage was it that, well, if we only had a good wallet,
Yeah.
these type things. We're going to have the Bentley of wallets, with this, it seems.
Right.
And can we revisit just the issue of Epic Cash, which is both wallets needing to be open? And I know there's uh the Epic
Epic
box
Box.
solution there. But I recently
Right.
had a consultation, it broke my heart. There was a wonderful lady, she's in her mid-70s, and she reached out to me for a consultation because she wanted to get some of her retirement into private crypto. And I refused the booking fee, just as an FYI, everyone, because I just love this woman. And so I made a decision at the end because I realized this woman has no um, business actually uh, doing what it takes to really be able to acquire Epic Cash or Monero. And so what I did is had her download the Epic Pay wallet, and I told her that you know and I'm not going to name her, but she had $20,000 to her name, and she's like, I really want to get it into private crypto, and I'm like, no, you don't. I'm like, let's take 10%, right? 10%, and I said, here's what I'm going to do for you. You know, you tell me. I'm going to suggest 2 grand. If you want to be able to send me $2,000, uh, what I will do is I will send you $750 worth of Epic Cash and the rest in Monero, 1250 in Monero. And so she did that and she got it. And I commenced both transactions. The Epic Cash got hung up, took a weekend, hung up. So I finally had to cancel the transaction. I sent back her was it 1250? No, 750. And then the Monero showed that it went through. It left my wallet. But her wallet keeps spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. So it after a week, she's like, I don't know what to do. And I don't know what to do. So I'm I got Diego involved. I got her onto Telegram. And so he very nicely said, I'll take care of her. We'll figure this out. So I don't know where they are in that, but I just know that it's not perfect, right? So I felt bad that I couldn't do 2 simple transactions with this woman to be able to get her into private crypto. So I know that there's work to be done. And who knows why? I don't know. But with the Epic cache. I don't know. It's like we both had our wallets open. I don't know. So I'll be eager for that episode where we do this to where everything is all updated and you guys are like, we're rocking now. All right. Okay, what are we doing here? Are we reading?
All right. So that's basically what's been going on for the last week or so. We've caught the migration fever. I guess
Okay.
spring's coming and we're migrating back up north. So
Nice.
so everything now, except for the Explorer, has been fired up on new servers. We had 3 servers to recap. We've got the web server, we've got the EpicNet server running Node, Epic Box, the QR code stuff. The web server is running one of the new websites, as well as PairDrop, which is the private file transfer system, which allows people that choose to use the file transfer method for doing a transaction out there. So that's available off of the web server as well.
I am trying to find, I saw something somewhere, PairDrop.
It's on resources. Yep, there it is.
There it is. Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Just to show everyone.
There you go. Yep, that's PairDrop.
I have no idea what PairDrop is.
Well, you can open PairDrop on your iOS on your phone.
Yep.
Or you can open it on an Android phone, and you can send files between your phone and your desktop.
Ah, okay.
So if you're running Epic GUI and you want to send a transaction using the file method,
got it.
Where you send a file and then they send a file back, then you use PairDrop because it is a peer-to-peer encrypted private way to send files back and forth.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Payment processor. This is all very cool.
Right. Those 2 things, the payment processor, the QR code generator, are both running on the epicnet.us server. PairDrop is running on the server running the web server.
Mm-hmm.
I also ginned up a 3rd server, which is running email for epiccache.com that's going to be used by community members that are in work groups that are involved in projects that need an Epic Cache email address. So that's a 3rd server going. And like I said, we might need a 4th server to run Explorer. My idea is that it's better to have all of these smaller lean and mean servers running distributed and having them run in different data centers in different parts of the country or even the world, rather than having everything run on one server centrally located that's subject to failure. So that's the idea behind that.
Okay, I'm so rude. I was reading something in the chat from Harmon, and would you repeat that last one? I'm sorry. You were wanting to run lean and mean, just that whole part again.
Oh, right. Yeah, well, my idea was, we talk about we don't want to have a central control over anything.
Right.
So the same goes for having one server running the website and PairDrop and the Explorer and all these different pieces, because it's subject to failure.
Right.
So that's why I've gone out and fired up all of these smaller lean and mean servers in different locations to spread out where the services are coming from.
That's smart. So they aren't all in Atlanta then?
No, 2 are in Atlanta, 1's in Dallas, and the 4th one that we gen up, location to be determined. Voltar, the hosting service that I use, has data centers all over the world.
Okay. Okay.
So we can go
That's
anywhere.
great. That's smart. I like it.
Yeah.
I
And
love
one other thing,
Yeah.
this whole let's create like a really cool new website. It must be a virus that people are catching,
Okay.
because our favorite dev that we all love and admire, Pool Boy, has gone out on his own initiative, and he's created a sample new website for us to look at.
Okay. Great.
Yep. So you can go to epiccache.51pool.online.
Epic.
Cache
Oops. Epic Cash.
dot 51pool
Uh-huh.
dot online. Pool Boy runs one of our mining pools.
Okay.
We have two going.
Let me now what happened here? Why can't I? Wow, this is weird. My sorry. Let me go to here. How's that? Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Okay, that looks great too.
Yep.
Um, based upon the window size, it doesn't all fit, but you have to change your window to fit it. So there may need to be some adjustments that he might make. Yeah, that looks great too. Very cool. Nice job, Pool Boy.
Yeah, that's
It-
that's a product of he and his wife. It's a collaborative effort, and so we have AT and Masaranduba, the website that they've genned up, and
yeah,
Pool Boy and his wife have put together. This is another thing. So what I see is that community members will be looking at these and giving feedback on different pieces that they like. And at some point, we can merge the best of the two pieces together and come up with something that I call synergistic, which
no,
means
I think
the
that's
whole
great.
the whole is greater than the sum of the parts.
1 + 1 + 1 = 111. So
Yep.
I love
Yep.
that math. And it doesn't, we
Yep.
aren't just talking two sites. I know that there's a third site that's being worked on out there. I saw Monkman in the chat. He was kind of like saying, you guys have made your choice. We haven't made our choice. There is no choice. There's no well, it's whatever anybody wants to think. All I know is I'm going to be true to my commitment that if you have any initiative out there that you want to come on and talk about, the only limiting factor in doing so is you. It's not me. I will support anything that remotely looks like it's somebody leading with their chin. And so that's what drove me nuts about this other person who was going to come on and be my second guest. Why do people get their panties in the wad over stupid shit? I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's like, why can't we have a collaborative way about us? Why does it have to be red team, blue team, A team, B team? Come on, everybody. It's like, if you have an idea and you want to lead with your chin, go for it. I'll give you audience here, man. Because I do believe in 1 + 1 = 11 math. My whole career, I believed in that. That is the way that we make progress out there. So, anybody out there, at least with this show, okay, if you have an initiative and you want to talk about it, DM me, Telegram at Todd Pitner, TODDPITNER, and I'll assess and we'll have you on likely. I mean, it depends what it is. I mean, I'll be a little bit discerning, but I'm sure if you're DMing me about a project that it makes sense. I mean, like there's a guy that I'm going to be having a conversation with in a week that is wanting to talk about being able to, from a marketing message standpoint, promote Epic Cash as, the better Bitcoin, but private, those type things, but in a macro marketing sense. And instead of saying, that's a bad idea, what did I do? I said, let's talk about it. Sounds like a great idea to talk about. Does that mean it will be a great idea ultimately? No, not necessarily, but I'll talk about it. And after he and I talk, I'll have him on the show if it makes sense. And because I don't want to quell any idea out there, because you never know. Maybe he's onto something. I don't know. Maybe you have something in your head that you're thinking about. Don't be afraid to reach out to me. And I hope that's a good thing, everybody. I really do. So, well, man, we have gone way over, and that's a good thing. I'm really grateful for all of the substance that you've provided, Sky King. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate you guys. We've had a great showing here. We were at one point over 20 people watching live, and that's not back in the day numbers. But you know what? It's better than just a handful or a few. So thank you. So Sky, anything that, how do people reach you if they want to reach out and say, hey man, I'd like to lean in and provide my skin in the game in any way? How would they reach you, Sky King?
Well, I monitor most of the major groups that we have. So if somebody just pings me at Sky King,
Yep.
on the Telegram groups, I'll pick up on it, and we'll look at what you got to say, and if I see something that's a really good idea, I know Marvelos, if that's the way we pronounce it, our friend from Australia is always coming up with great ideas, and I'm always forwarding his ideas over to the appropriate groups. So yeah, if you got something, just ping me. I'll pick up on it.
So the way you get into the Epic Cash groups is t.me/Epic Cash. That's the primary group. There is another group, t.me/Epic Private Money. And that is not just about Epic Cash, but it's about private crypto and other things that might relate to Mike Adams and my show, which is decentralized.tv, which, by the way, people should go subscribe to decentralized.tv on YouTube. I didn't realize it, but his producers had silently, they basically created the channel decentralized.tv, not just on Brighteon, but on YouTube. They were wondering how long that they'd be able to get away with it, because Mike Adams is so heavily censored on YouTube. And but in last week we were told that they took us down, but then they're back up. So I don't know. But anyway, decentralized.tv, you'll be able to see our shows. We're going to be launching an episode probably early next week. I thought it'd be done by now. But it is just he and me, to where we talked about the previous 30 episodes. We're at that 30 episode mark, which is pretty amazing. We've had a lot of guests. So please join us at decentralized.tv. Go to the website or go to YouTube, decentralized.tv, search for that. But so in that, in t.me/Epic Private Money, there is a group called Lead with Your Chin, and that's all about this specific show. So if you have any suggestions, suggested guests, or if you're somebody in the community that's working on an initiative and you'd like to come on, we can meet there and talk about it. Okay. Well, Sky, thank you. Appreciate you as always. Hope you have a great weekend.
Yep. For all those that have hung on and hung through us being here for a little bit over, I have a present.
Oh, good. Talk to me.
The new version 3.5.1 core code, which will also have a new GUI wallet update, has two new features.
Okay.
One feature is send and receive address storage on your wallet, not on the blockchain. Which means when you do a transaction and you click on the little eyeball that brings up the detail,
Yeah.
you'll be able to see the address that you sent something to or that you received something from.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
And
awesome.
the other extra feature is, with Epic Cash, you don't have to be online at the same time, and you kind of pick it up when you show up.
Yep.
Well, as a feature to speed things up, if both wallets do happen to be on at the same time, it skips saving the transaction on the Epic Box server for the other wallet to pick up. It acts like HTTP, and it sends it direct immediately. Super
Oh my
fast.
gosh. That's a game changer.
Pool
I
Boy
mean,
came up with both of those.
pool boy, you rock. Wow, that is a game. I mean, that like solves everything, doesn't it? I mean, that last
Well,
one,
it just speeds things up even more than they are. It's great.
but my issue with this wonderful woman who I was trying to send Epic to, it would make that go away, right? Because I knew she was online. I had my wallet open and she had her wallet open. In that case, it would
Then
boom.
it'll be almost instantaneous.
Oh man, that's a game changer, everyone. You saved it for the last minute of the show, but that's okay. That means those who waited to listen. I really hope you go into the chats and unpack that further. I'd like to be able to I'd like to send that information to Mike Adams because that's really he's like until you guys get that interactive wallet thing nailed down. I'm a little uncomfortable promoting and such. So, we saw for that, man. We have
Yeah. Well, we're
a
still dealing with the holy grail of non-interactive Mimble Wimble.
yep,
That's another topic that's being worked on, and that's kind of a long-term thing. But being able to skip the save it on the server and just send it straight off is another big step forward for speed of transactions.
that's great. Pool boy,
Yeah,
you rock. That's
yeah,
awesome. Thank you for your
yeah,
service. It's just
yeah.
awesome. So, I mean, and what that does is that just reinvigorates me. I mean, back to my discussion that I had this morning with my wife and talking about, hey, we're not going to need this money for probably about 6 years, before I even contemplate any kind of retirement. That's many, many lifetimes in crypto. And there are developments like this that, man, once the rest of the world catches up to what we're doing is this little piddly ass microcap trading at 21 and a half cents. I mean, goodness gracious, we are the better Bitcoin. Sorry, but we are. So, okay, well, hey, thanks for making my weekend with that last little bit of news, those two gifts. I appreciate it, Sky.
Yeah, yeah, good stuff.
Okay, everybody in the chat, have a great weekend and we'll see you. Actually, we may not see you next week because I'm going to have to travel. But if there is a way for me to record something before I have to leave on Tuesday with somebody, I will, and then I could upload it on Friday. But it may not, I may have to skip next week, but just know that it's not because I don't want to, it's just physically I can't. So, all right, thanks everybody. Have a great weekend. Cheers.